Join in on the fun and grab your glue gun. It's the Preppy Crafty Girl Show. Hey everyone, it's Jonna, the Preppy Crafty Girl, and I am here with an Etsy share. I am putting these two books in my shop. So by the time you see this video, these will be in my Etsy shop, and I will have the link in the description box below. So thank you for joining me, and I appreciate it. Let's do a little flip through. The first one I'm going to go through is called The Bunny Book, and I made this cute little daisy crocheted closure for it because it's all things spring, and that just wraps around and ties. I don't have it attached, so if you want to take it off, you can. Almost thread there. And these are clipped on, so you can remove them, and they have all kinds of buttons and charms and these little cute wood vintage Easter tree decorations. I put the little eye hooks at the top and then just use those in the dangles. And also here's a little strawberry shortcake card with the strawberry on the back, and then this one says look and time for springtime. So that comes with the journal. This is a little golden book. It is called the Bunny Book. It has a hard spine, and I used rainbow colored wax thread as the closure. And then this is just left the back the way it was and added this cute little vintage trim on here and a really sweet seersucker faux patchworked piece of vintage fabric that I had. And then I hand stitched out of an old quilt, little heart, and added a button and a little piece of lace because there was a mark on the book and I thought I would just kind of cover it. There is discoloring to this book cover, but it's not that much, but it kind of ages it. So I love that look. And then let's just open it. We have an inside pocket here on the front. And in here are several items. There is a bird card that I put on a divider. And then there's a library pocket that you could add to the front of the book if you want to put, your thoughts on there. So I'm just tucking that into the first pocket. It's a little bit of washi here. And then I clipped in a few things that you can use to decorate your pages with. There's a little journal card, and then I used my vintage Dymo labeler to add springtime to the front. And then there's this little ruffle, vintage fabric ruffle, and here is a flashcard, and the rest of it's on the other side. These are really long flashcards. They're all about like making sentences or how it shows up in a sentence, the word shows up in a sentence. So you will get the pages of the book are in here, the ones that were in the book. I think there were a couple pages, they're not in order, and there are other book pages in here also from other Easter themed or bunny themed pages, book pages. So this is a flashcard of a little lamb and another ruffle. And then these are watercolor flowers that I tucked inside a watercolor pocket, teacup pocket. So I did these myself. So you're going to get a little bit of my artwork here. And you can keep those there, or you can add them anywhere in the journal. Here's a little record ledger, and then an envelope with two little birds on a branch. And this is just for journaling right here. The spring song, some vintage sheet music, and then the beginning of the bunny book. So there's some pages here. This is from 1955. The book was originally published, and this is the 12th printing from 1982. This is a vintage hanky that I wrapped around and made pockets. And here's a color by number lamb, and also a Peep coloring page because, this is for Team Peep. Are you original Peep or are you Bunny Peep? Because I am original yellow Peep Girl all the way. Marshmallow Peep Girl. And then there's this little flower I put on here and some Easter seals that you can use. And in this pocket, there's a cute little boy checking on the flowers. And he's dressed, he's got a little Western wear on. It's so cute. And here is a flashcard and a big blue index card. And that's tucked in that side of the pocket. A floral page, a card, and then there's some tags tucked in here that I made in a little flower die cut. This is out of another book. I just thought it was really a cute book. And some paper. Everything in here has been thrifted, upcycled, and is vintage. There's no printables. So I did a little fabric flip on the other side of the card, and then I did some punch art and made these little bumblebees. And here they are just jumping. So cute bunnies. There's another bunny ruffle, or that's little bunnies and chicks. And then here's an altered paper clip. And in here I have a daffodil card. The rest of the book pages. So you can read the story if you want to. And then here is a Wilton cake decorating book and oops, a little ribbon, a music flash card, and then here is a little ribbon paper clip that I just put on this hand-dyed hand-dyed paper that I did. Here's a sweet little vintage photo of a little boy in his Easter basket. So cute. And a little yo-yo. And I did some punch art on the belly band. And here is a little note card tucked in there. This is from a beautiful calendar that I had. And so I just added that page in. This is a page out of March. Here's one of my altered paper clips right here with a vintage card, playing card, and then a flash card right here. Here is a shaker I made, and that is just clipped into the page like that. And another one of my dyed papers. Another dyed paper. And then this has a really cute, it's an envelope, and then I put her, I thought she was really cute looking at the frog, and it's a little notepad, and there's a sticker on that, a little note piece of stationery. And then here is another piece of stationery, like a note card. It's actual card. Tucked that in. Here is a little tuck spot that goes up, and I put a bird in here. And then I made a shaker bookmark with a tassel on it. So you get that piece of wallpaper border. Again, going back to the book. The images in this book were really cute. And then this is out of another book. There's a card and a sack with a Oh Happy Day. So there's a little journaling card there. Lots of places to journal in this book. I wanted, even though I put a lot of tuck spots and different things like that, there's a lot of space that you can journal on. A lot of journal cards that you can use and things like that. So, oops. And a different book page. This came out of a different book. I made these little chipboard buttons, and Amy J. Delightful has these little button cards, and so I used her button cards, and then I made my own little chipboard spring buttons. That's just clipped in there. And then here's a fabric pocket, and there's several things just tucked in here. One of those Betty Crocker recipe cards, and here's another little tuck spot with some pattern girls for spring. And then this is a gorgeous work basket page that has pretty like pretty dresses, spring dresses, and then a time card. So lots of things in here to play with. Another little journaling card and some vintage stationery. I love this vintage stationery with the blue bird on it. Super cute. And here is just one of those little inserts for a pack of fun, and another journal card for some Easter eggs with an index card behind it, and a little frog holding everything. Here is Woodstock, the other side of that really cute bunny book. And then here is another little card in here, and another tag card, the other side of the bunny page, and here's the rest of the books in here. Wallpaper, some pretty vellum paper that I had. It's pink and white striped. I thought you just tear it out and use it however you want. And here's a little area you can tuck something under if you want to. Like I said, lots of journaling space, but also a lot of journaling cards. So there's that. Here is a really pretty pink flower in, if you hold up to the light, you'll see the pink roses. And then a journaling cards on here. And this is a held in with a paper clip, but it's pretty spring patio with the daisies. This is some of the strawberry daisy wallpaper that I have, the vintage wallpaper. So I added a page of that in. Some more of a bunny book. There's a little envelope, some die cuts with bunnies, and a little journaling card. And then there's this little journaling paper, and I did springtime right there, and it says, "Which house is yours, Charlie Brown?" I just had to add that in. And here is some more of my punch art with the bunnies. So that's a little tuck spot you can use. And it's cute. So I use several different children's spring books in here. Spring Song, May's Coming, some more. This is an envelope and the card that goes in it, and then a little purple record paper. I love her. It's a spring morning. And then she's got a little bird singing on the windowsill. So this is a really cute card. In there, and look at them laughing. I love this. I love this photo. So cute, or image. Really cute. Some more of my dyed paper, some daffodils, and then there is more journaling cards and a honey-do list for the spring. Another pretty vintage image, another page out of a work basket that's about spring hats. Here's a little pocket down here. It's got a butterfly, a little spring image, and a bird. And then I've got another little die cut and a little fabric dangle. Here's some more, a fabric ruffle and some more vintage stationery with birds. Some trim and a little tuck spot right here. Book page. Some more of my hand dye paper. I made this, I think I did this on a live, this bookmark. Some more vintage stationery with a rose. And that's the end of the book. So that's the first one. This one's called the Bunny Book. And this, again, I said will be in the shop by the time you see this video. I'm going to set this one aside, and I'm going to show you this one for a bunny. And this one also has a bookmark clip or dangle that you can take on and off. It has those wood little Easter ornaments and different beads and charms and vintage buttons and game pieces and strawberry shortcake and mushrooms, all things spring. This one also has one of my handmade quilted hearts And then I did this really sweet and aqua daisy crocheted tie. For this one, it has some vintage trim. Again, this is a well-loved book, but still in great shape. I love the image. And this is a hard spine. And that's the back of the book. Oh, I don't know if I showed the back of the... Did I show the back of the book on this one? Ah, this one. Yeah, that's the back of the book on that one. And then you have the pocket on the inside with a little yo-yo and some journaling cards in here. So this one has a lot similar things I put in here, an altered paper clip and one of the Betty Crocker cards. It's called Home for a Bunny. Garth Williams is the one that did this one, and this is actually a 1963. Original print was 1956. Ruffle. This was a handkerchief I turned into a wraparound pocket. This again has the same, it's the flash card and the index card. Just different colorings and different images. Peeps. Got to put my peeps in. Spring journals. And then, so it has a different, this is a Richard Scarry book. So this is a different book. Like I said, there's several books used in here for the book pages, but I do have the whole egg book, all the pages in here from the egg book that I had. There's Woodstock, and then this is a map page pocket with some iron-on embroidery templates. Has a work basket, or it might be Humpty Dumpty for Easter, a little card, journal card, and piece of paper, and a book, a magazine image for, I think it's Bunny. It's Brer Rabbit Molasses. I apologize. I'm having some things come through if you hear the buzzing. So a lot of different imagery from vintage books. She is just tucked in here. You can put her wherever you want. Her little sweet Easter dress. She came out of a pattern book that I have. And then look at that, where she's picking. This was like an old telephone ad, and there's a bunny, and she's picking the spring daffodils, and there's bones all there. I just thought that was a really cute image for spring. So see, this is from a different book, but I love the bunnies, and they're hugging the bunnies. Really cute. And a journal card, and another 2 flash cards, and some more vintage fabric as a ruffle. Here is one of those Wilton cake things as a journal card, and then in this tuck spot with a music flash card. And then here's more from the original book. And then there's this belly band I did with a napkin. And then this is a card front that I used as a journal spot. And then this also has a really sweet little image, some Easter seals. And here's a little die cut image with a little piece of sheet on it. Another one of my little altered paper clips from a vintage card, and some stationery, a little envelope. Here's another journal card tucked in there. Then there is a little bookmark, journaling spot, Snoopy, Charlie Brown, and here's another little journaling spot. This is out of a different book about spring. Here's a little sleepy floppy eared bunny, so cute, and a little duck. And here's another journaling card, some fabric, another tag journaling spot, a little tuck spot under here. Spring dance, sheet music, and then a little sleepy bunny, a ruffle, some vintage there's some vintage images in here. And then there is an ad back here with a bunny. And then here's another vintage ad and some other things tucked in, a little mushroom and a butterfly in that pocket, a fabric tabs, daffodils and dragonflies. Here's some more out of this book. It was really cute about the bunnies. And then this came out of a Betty Crocker card and a little tuck spot, and it says springtime at the top. And then here's another little pocket with a journaling card. Lots of things in here that are tucked in and stuff that you can journal on. Here's a little shaker bookmark. Spring has sprung. Here's one of my punch art with the bees and a front of a card, a vintage card that I turned into a journaling spot. That's sitting there. Here's one of those altered bookmark paper clips that I have that has all kinds of fun little dangles on it, words and things like that. Fabric, wallpaper, a little shaker. And then here's some cards and some scrapbook paper and a little hymnal page. It says hops, flashcard, lots of book pages. These are more book pages from the original book. Little card with the little chickies in a bowl. That's a tuck spot. Here's the original book page. There's a little fabric dangly thing on there. I love her. I did a little cluster. She's very spring with her scarf. So cute. And then this is another little tuck spot over here that I did out of fabric. Here are some of the vintage. Here's some of my handmade buttons that I just stitched on one of those Amy J Delightful printable cards. And then this is an altered paper clip using tickets, or a hidden paper clip. Again, these came out of one of my pattern books. A pocket with a little boy and his bunny. This bunny reminds me of the bunny I had growing up as a child. His name was Nathaniel. And then here's another one of those photos. It had duplicates of the little boy. These are the original photos of him with his little Easter basket. There's a bird watching thing and then a piece of that vintage stationery back there. And I punched that out on my Dymo labeler. It says springtime. Here's another little tuck spot. I have little notepads that are tucked under there. Notepad sheets. A fabric flip with some fun vintage fabric and trim. And then a frog jumping across the page. And then a cute little slide dangle. Opens up. Look at the bunny is pointing. So I had him pointing to all the eggs. And then here's some stationery. And another one of my little punch art bumblebees. Some more vintage stationery. And then this is an acetate little tuck spot pocket. And you can see the bunny in there. And yeah, that's the end of that book. So I hope you enjoyed the flip through, and check out my shop. Like I said, it's in the description. They will come with a really cute little envelope that I've created from some vintage towels, like the little fingertip towels. They came out really cute. And so they will be wrapped in that. And I hope you enjoyed them. And I hope you enjoyed this flip through. And I will see you guys later. Bye.